How was your past life, Jill?
So even though I go very easily there, when I'm doing any kind of work, like with Lisa or anybody else, let me just set up what happened. So earlier today and yesterday, I've made some decisions to let things go based on the work that we're doing in this class and a continuation of the work with Lisa. And as soon as I did that, something happened in my life where I was given a connection to somebody important in the classical music world where I live. And it was just like, it was so crazy. There's no way I would have even ever dreamed of it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I just said, okay. And I was invited to lunch. The person that did the introduction was my accountant, my brand new accountant. That's another long story.
Mm-hmm.
And I was invited to lunch with her and her very good friend, this influential music person. And it's like, I haven't been able to eat more than 4 different types of food for years because what the functional medicine doctors tell me is that I grew up in a black moldy house for 25 years, and that wrecked my digestive system. And also they think I got a tick bite and got Bartonella, which is a Lyme co-infection. So my accountant, Carol, said, oh, we have to go to lunch soon. You have to meet Peggy. I'm like, I didn't say no. This is the first time, and I haven't eaten in a restaurant in more than 12 years because I just get too sick. So the intention that I said was to heal my food allergies and sensitivities 100%. So I can eat anything, anywhere, and I can travel wherever and whenever I want to. Okay. So that's the background. And then the fact that no matter who I do sessions with, it's super easy for me to go back, even though nobody's taken me back on a past life regression. I've never done that. Okay. So I feel like I'm going to read it. Your voice was very soothing. I felt like I went into a drug-induced coma almost immediately, and I just couldn't follow. And every once in a while, I'd come out a little bit, and I'd hear your voice, and it's like, oh my God, I got to be paying attention. She's saying, do this, do that, and I couldn't. And I have no idea how long it went on, but I do know that there was a point where you said something about what year it is. And I was conscious enough when you said that to get a number immediately. I couldn't even see it or hear it. I just picked up my pen and wrote it, and it was 1854. And again, in like this drug-induced stupor, I realized that 1 + 8 is 9, and 5 + 4 is 9, and then 9 + 9 is 18, and then 1 + 8 and 18 also equals 9. I don't know what 9 means. I know it's got spiritual significance in some cultures and some belief systems. So completion. That's nice. Okay. So, and then I was awake enough, but not really, in doing all that 18, 19, whatever stuff, to think that, oh, maybe it's not 1854. Maybe it's 4581. So maybe the numbers are in a different order. And then I was gone again. I could not bring myself out of it. And I have to say that I had the best night of sleep last night in longer than I can remember, because so much got cleared yesterday. And I also had an incredible physical therapy session that was just, I've never felt so good. So I had such an incredible day yesterday, no trouble falling asleep, slept later than normal. And so I'm not tired, right? Which is unusual. So, but I'm in a coma listening to your sweet voice. So then back into the coma, and I only came out of it for the last few minutes. I wasn't coherent enough to look on my computer to see what time it was to even know how long this whole exercise lasted. And as I was writing all this down that I'm just sharing with you, something came up, and it was like physically, I felt it in my right brain. I wonder if I had some type of psychic surgery going on during this meditation, excuse me, that I couldn't be awake and present for because it was too much for my system. And then sometime in the last few moments when I wasn't in the coma, I got the visual of the single eye that I've heard lots of people talk about when they do meditation, that they get the visual of that single eye. And so then I'm like, I didn't beat myself up. It wasn't like I nodded off because I was bored, because I have been looking forward to doing this past life regression ever since I signed up for the course. I was really excited about it, and like, where did I go? I don't know. But then for the last few minutes, I decided, okay, I'm going to just pull open Google on my phone and Google 1854 and see if there were any events that happened that might be significant to me. So I need to do a lot more work on that, because obviously I couldn't do that in that short of time. But my birthday, January 21st, in this lifetime popped up. And there was some shipwreck somewhere that had something to do with London and Australia, and a lot of people dying. And then what was the last one? The last one I had kind of scrolled to was between August 31st and September 8th of 1854 was the cholera outbreak in London, which killed over 10,000 people from a single water tap. And I can't remember who the doctor was, but his name's really familiar to me when I read it. So I'm not done with my historical research of if it's that year,
Mm.
but there it is. And if you can
And
tell
you
me
said,
why I was in a coma, I would love to know.
yeah, and also you already said that you had a huge connection with England.
Of
So
course, yeah.
yeah, so I'd say the cholera outbreak was something that, of course, affects your digestive system, right?
Oh, thank you.
Mm.
Okay. No, because I don't know really what cholera is. I've never paid attention. I've heard of it. I never paid attention to it.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Look it up, and then we'll do it. We can do a tapping session on that. Mm.
Oh, great.
Awesome.
Okay,
Now,
thank
the
you.
other thing is that Cryon will often say that when you go into something like this, you can be taken out and worked on. And
That's what I wondered, that when I said psychic surgery, that's what I was
yeah, yeah,
referring
that
to.
you consciously you're not in the third dimension anymore, and you're taken out and worked on. So yeah, that's definitely what I think has happened with you. And you weren't asleep, and you did come out of the hypnotherapy when when I said 3, 2, 1, open your eyes, sort of thing. So if you were asleep, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, and I heard the last few minutes before that.
Mm.
So it wasn't, yeah, I was
Yeah, so your
conscious
guide
enough.
brought you
I
back.
would guess the last 3 to 5 minutes and I wasn't beating myself up, which is a really big deal. Because before today, I would have been like, you're a total failure at this, and this is the
Yeah.
one
And
thing you
that's
want.
why
I didn't go there.
that's what I said. Your guides give you what you need, and it might not be being aware for a past life regression. You got what you needed, so that's cool.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
So how is your mining, dear Akash?
I stayed awake. um, I don't know if you could see me. I was yawning nonstop. I
Yes.
mean, I just like I was gulping in air. I still feel like there's air in my stomach right now. It was just release, release, release.
Mm.
I'm still not done yawning. Um, I was asking for health and wealth and wisdom and love and anything high vibration.
Mhm.
So this isn't in order totally of how you went. It's just how I remembered it. Some of it I had to write down during it, but
Mhm.
so the year was 1152, and that made me laugh suddenly because in my mind I added 1 + 1 + 5 + 2, and that's 9. So there's another 9.
Mm.
I got Ming Dynasty, and I just looked that up, and 1152 was before the Ming Dynasty a couple years, so I don't know what that is. Let's see what I can read. Oh, the yawning. Okay, so when you said to look into the eyes of your family, I looked into my father's eyes, and it was my father, much, much younger and more handsome, bright blue eyes, which he did have,
Mm-hmm.
from this lifetime, my deceased father from this lifetime, even though it seemed to be in Asia, maybe in China, if it was Ming Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was afraid to look into my mother's eyes because in this lifetime, she's scary. And even in a past life regression, it just scares me. So, but I made myself do it, and I couldn't see her as a human,
Mm-hmm.
but I looked, and it's like, I don't know if this is a real thing, but what I saw when I looked in her eyes was a Tibetan tiger. Is there such a thing as a Tibetan tiger?
You
I
know.
don't know. And
Mm.
it was moving around doing whatever tigers do out in the mountains. And then I tried to look into my siblings' eyes. I didn't have any siblings, apparently. I was an only child. We were not poor.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't super wealthy or anything, but we were fine financially. Um, you said look down at your feet. My feet were very beautiful. They were feminine. They were slender. They were in sandals, so they looked like, like a movie star's feet. That's the sense I got. They're very beautiful. I was wearing some kind of silk, and it was very pleasant to the touch. This confused me because my hair was kind of a golden color, so that was confusing if I was in China, like why? But my father in China was my current, my real life here this time father with blue eyes, and he had blonde hair when he was young. So whatever that means, I don't know. If you get anything, stop me and tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my skin was Caucasian, but a little bit darker than what I am right now, which is pretty darn pale. For the name, I was getting like the word flower, and I saw a picture of a daisy. Um, so I don't know if my name was Daisy. For the age, this had made me laugh. I was 21 years old. It made me laugh because my birthday's on the 21st, and 21 has always been a very important number to me, but I'm not sure why. And multiples of 7 have always been important to me, but I'm also not sure why.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I was 21 years old, and I could see myself standing sort of in the corner of the room. It was dark, beautiful wood, like a dark teak or something. The room wasn't bright, but it wasn't like dingy or scary. It was a beautiful room, but it was darker, and I was cradling an infant.
Mm-hmm.
And at 21, I only had that one infant. It seemed like I was married, but I couldn't see the father of the infant in that one. And then when you took us to the next one, I was suddenly 31 years old, and I had 3 young children. It was a happy family. I saw the husband kneeling down, kind of playing with the babies on the floor. And I seemed to be in the same place as the other house, kind of in the corner, but it was happy. Um, and yeah, that really seemed like Japan, not China. And I was getting the picture, how the old Japanese, olden times, the women had something like it was a belt, but something kind of on the back, like almost like a low backpack or something. I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
that was, but I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
And then my life was full, and it was complete, and it was long. So the death scene, I was just there. I had long gray hair, and everything was calm and peaceful. There wasn't any trauma or drama or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what else happened? Um, My message was all is complete, all is well. Go forward with confidence, meaning in this current lifetime and maybe the future, because it was all good, and it's going to be good going forward. I got the words beauty and simplicity, which is important to me. Feng Shui is really important to me in this part of my life, and having less, but less that's beautiful and important. I just want to clear stuff out, which I've done a lot of.
Mm-hmm.
My partner is not one he's very sentimental. We have a small place, so that is a problem. My current life partner. But I want that. I just want that. I was concerned that we were at the end, and it's like, oh, they didn't tell me anything about food. So I asked my guys, like, what do I do for food? And I got the word miso. And I just did a quick lookup on miso, and it's like incredibly nutrient dense and super easy to
Yeah.
digest. So I think I'm going to start with organic miso.
Yep.
For getting out of the 4 foods, that's going to be food number 5, and I already
And
know where to get it.
that's
Go
Japanese
ahead.
based too, I think.
It is
Yeah.
Japanese. Yeah, Japanese. And then for I was asking them like, okay, what about what about finances? You know, COVID has left me a mess
Mm-hmm.
because we got shut down from work for 2 years. Like, and I'm too old for that right now. And I just got, and this happened at the beginning too. Emeralds and diamonds, they were at the very beginning, like when we left the cave.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and going into the cave at the very beginning, this beautiful, it was a really big, oh shoot, which crystal is pink?
Rose gold.
Rose quartz. It
Or
was a
rose
gorgeous
gold.
rose quartz crystal, kind of at the back left of the cave, and it was it was obvious that it was growing. There were little spires coming out of it. Um, and it was wonderful, and I didn't want to leave it at the end. And I saw diamonds sparkling when you were taking us out of the cave. So at the end, when I was asking, like, what about finances? The diamonds were back. There were a lot of them. They were covering most of my visual field. And then an emerald showed up, and I think there were emeralds plural. And I think I asked, what do the emeralds mean and why green? And I think I heard the word abundance, but this particular emerald was right in the center. It was very long and slim, and I was trying to figure out what, like diamonds have a certain cut. The round cut is called brilliant. There's a princess cut. There's whatever. Does anybody know what is the emerald cut of a gemstone? Is that the rectangular cut?
Yeah, and
Yes.
it's not as sparkly,
Okay.
like
So
a square, not as sparkly.
this emerald was in an emerald cut. So it was very rectangular, but it was huge.
Mm-hmm.
And funny, I don't know why funny, but like, have you ever been on YouTube or something and you turn your phone sideways so you can get a better view, and it just goes really skinny and long? That's what this picture is. Just really skinny but really long, and I couldn't get it to be in full 3D. So that's it.
Hmm. And did you take the higher learning and lesson into the future?
That was the emeralds and the diamonds,
Yep.
and the go forward with confidence,
Confidence.
because like
Right.
it was all was complete, all was well back then, and it already is in the
Yeah.
future. So that was that.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well
And then
done.
beauty and simplicity, also
Yep.
part of that.
Yeah. Beautiful.